My DG was unconcerned about that. So I was only advisor. I can't take the decision at that time. So if somebody jump the jail wall, he will come to my bungalow. 13 life convict people. They took advantage of this overcrowding and they skipped the custody by digging the tunnel. Told us that he is not a terrorist. He is just a corruption fighter outside, and he was associated with so many NGOs.
So today at Asianet News, I'm being joined by a man who knows India's most notorious cell, which is Tihar jail inside out. He has also written a book on his extraordinary experiences from inside Tihar jail in his book, which is titled Black Warrant. His book is also an inspiration for the web series on Netflix, which is also called Black Warrant. In 1981, he made a very bold decision to quit his job from Indian Railways and join as a legal aid in Tihar, also as a deputy superintendent. How his journey took shape later in the years to come, we are going to talk to him. So, sir, thank you so much and welcome to Asianet News.
Thank you for coming.
Sir, before this interview, I was definitely watching all of your past interviews to get a gist of who I'm going to interact with. And definitely I'm very thrilled for this interview. And the reason behind this is because this is the first time I'm speaking to a person who is the inspiration for a movie or a web series. And to be very honest, I must admit this, that today morning I read the complete 176 pages of your book. Because I first saw the movie and then I thought I need to dig deep and I need to read about whatever he has written, and so I did that before this conversation.
Thank you.
I'm very excited and looking forward to it. Sir, I want to begin because you have not spoken about your childhood as much in the book and also in your other interviews. So I want you to start a little bit from your childhood. What was the atmosphere in your home like? How was your upbringing? How was your parents? Were they so strict? Tell us a little bit about your siblings, the complete atmosphere that you got in your house.
You see, in my family, my mother and father, they migrated from Pakistan, Punjab to India in 1947 when this migration began. We were 5 siblings of our parents. We were 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Of course, we come from, you can say, from low middle income group family. My father and mother both were working with Indian Railway. My eldest was my sister. She did her triple MA in different languages, English, Hindi and Sanskrit. Now she is no more. And next was my brother. He did his BTech from IIT Delhi, and he was a known nuclear scientist of India. Thereafter, it was the turn of my elder brother. He did his post-graduation and was working at a good post with the Indian Railway, and now he is retired. Next one was me. I was not, you can say, I was in our times, even if you are getting second division, you are considered as
The average good student.
yeah, I was average good student. Then last one was is my sister. She was teacher, and now she took premature retirement and living happily with her family. So I got this railway job in 1979 September. I worked there till you can say till 7th May 1981. I worked with the railway, and I left that job and joined the prison services as assistant superintendent on 8th May 1981.
So, in 1981, when you got through your interview and you went to Tihar jail for your joining, you were told by your superintendent that there are no vacancies. And at that time, I'm imagining, because you've already by that time
Yes.
have left your job in Indian Railways. So at that time, a lot of things were going on in your head. You must be anxious, ki what has just happened with me? They are telling me there are no vacancies in Tihar.
Basically, when he told me, then it was not easy to recover. Then Superintendent told me that you wait outside. Then I was waiting outside. Then another idea struck to my mind. I again entered his room and I told him that you might have received the phone call from one Mr. R.P. Singhal, IAS. He said, no, he has not received any phone call. My idea for this was just to convey him that I am also connected with higher ups. So he told me that no, he has not received any call. Then again I came out and was waiting that what direction he will give. Later I met with one gentleman. He came there. I thought that he was an officer of the jail. I just stood there to welcome him. So he told me that, are you new? I told him that, yeah, I am new. I have come here to join for the post of assistant superintendent. Then he further told me that, is he creating any obstacles for you? I told him, yeah, he is creating obstacles. Then he took their offer letter on which I was selected. He took that and went inside the room of superintendent jail and came out after around half an hour. And he was carrying this joining letter. So I joined on that day. Later on, I came to know that he was none other than Charles Sobraj.
Right. So he got jailed in 1976 and this happened in 1981.
Yes.
Right. So, one question that comes to my mind when I read the movie, watch the movie and read the book is that how a person, Charles Shobraj, could live in the jail so comfortably without any foundations. He had guards at his side. But, when you are a common man like us from the outside, you see that there must be some sort of, foundations and law and order inside the jail where the jailers are very strict with prisoners. They are able to control them in every possible way. But when we read about a person like Charles Shobraj, who was living so comfortably, getting all the luxury inside the jail, how was that even possible?
You see, there is one class in the jail who always keep the prison staff at tenterhook. They are the person who mostly draft the petitions for the prisoners and who are very infamous in filing the false, frivolous application against the prison staff before the court. Even at that time it was Supreme Court. So the prison staff used to be afraid of such these trouble creators, and they used to call them as champion of prisoners' right. So for Charles Sobraj, even there was one judicial commission, a district and session judge. He conducted an inquiry on the direction of the Supreme Court, and even that inquiry committee headed by district session judge Delhi, at that time there used to be only one district and session judge. He came out with revealing facts, and in fact that report speaks that he was virtually ruling Tihar jail, because he was having some dictaphone in which he was having some objectionable voice of superintendent and deputy superintendent jail. You see, superintendent and deputy superintendent jail, they are actually under the rules. They are governing the prison in all aspect. Superintendent jail is the chief and deputy superintendent jail he is deputy chief. So when he was blackmailing them, so he was having SS everywhere. Not only him, but there were other prisoners also. Even though they were not having that recording, but since they were B class prisoner, at that time we used to have two categories of prisoners. One was B class and another was C class. B class prisoner were those who at the time of commission of offence were, you can say, educated, means they have they have passed out graduation this degree, or they were income tax pay when they were arrested. So they were classified as B class prisoner and other were C class prisoner. These B class prisoners, most of the time, they consider themselves over the law. They will always try to browbeat the prison staff. They will consider themselves, if not equal, if not more than prison staff, they will consider themselves equal to the prison staff. So that was, you can see, the conditions when I joined there.
Definitely, there were, headlines saying that Charles Shobraj is ruling the Tihar jail and all. But one thing I want to ask you, whenever any inquiry like that happens, is that not that the magistrate always listens to the jailer and the inquiry may get manipulated in some way?
No, you see, whenever some judicial inquiry is conducted, they will hear both the side and then they will give their independent conclusion. So here also they heard this, they might have heard at the of the superintendent jail and also Charles Sobraj and other prisoners. Then they must have arrived at the conclusion that he was virtually ruling Tihar jail.
Right. I want to talk about an incident which took place 5 years after you joined in 1986, if I'm not wrong, when Charles Shobraj escaped the Tihar jail. It is very interesting and also seems like a scene straight out of a movie, like how he could give sedative.
But in movie, you will never find such type of instances. This was above movie. This was just, you can say, dream escape.
True. But how did this happen? You were assistant superintendent at that time?
At that time, I was assistant superintendent, and because of his this escape, then number of posts were created, and I was eventually promoted to the deputy superintendent post. Basically, on our law says that jailer is the host and prisoner is the guest while you are running the prison affairs. So most of the time there is family atmosphere in the prison. The prisoner will come to us, they will just talk to us like a my bap, like a father figure you are. So there are frequent exchanges between prisoners and the prison staff, but most of the time we consider that they are member of our family, bigger family, you can say. So
How he could escape?
in 1986, it was 16th March 1986. It happened like I was having the rest. It was Sunday. I was at my home. I was just watching the TV. In those days, there used to be a Bollywood movie. Once in a week, there was Bollywood movie on TV. We were just with family. We were watching the movie. So suddenly there was a breaking news, and in the breaking news, it was the speaker told that this one notorious prisoner Charles Sobraj has skipped the prison custody from Tihar, and he along with 12 other prisoners, they are out. So if anybody is having any information about them, they may inform the police at so and so number. So they were displaying the number. So on hearing that, just I rushed towards the jail. I was residing about 12 kilometers away from the prison jail premises. I went there. I saw there that our staff, basically on Sunday you are only having skeleton staff. So our staff were unconscious, and when we took search of them, everybody was totally, you can say, unconscious, not even semi-conscious. Even after, means we arrived there, I arrived there after, you can say, 2 hours. So they were unconscious, and everyone having 50 rupees currency note. So it means he
left money as well. Okay.
He bribed as well as give them this sweets laden with sedatives. So that was very, very, you can see, very, you can say, it was so shocking scene that thereafter, after some time, our Lieutenant Governor, our Deputy Commissioner, they all were there. Deputy Commissioner of Police, they all were there in the room. So that was so shocking. I stayed there up to, you can say, up to midnight. I was there in jail number 3. And you see, total 13 prisoners escaped the custody. Of those 13 escaped, 5 or 6 they were notorious, you can say. Raju Bhatnagar, Charles Sobras, they were notorious, and rest escaped just by chance. Because when they saw that the gates are open and they were drugged, then they smell opportunity and they escaped. And 3 or 4 prisoners, they surrendered on the same night. On 16 March itself, in the evening, they came back, and rest were traced out after few months. I think 1 or 2 prisoners are there still out.
Okay. One question as a journalist that comes to my mind is, I know that this is a very big aspect of your book, that your role, you saw it very clearly. You were not someone who would demean the prisoners. You were someone who was always there to empathize with them, to treat them in a humane way, and to also follow the rules. You were clear in your mind about that. But don't you think in the case of Charles Shobraj, you trusted him more than you should have?
Yeah, basically, we used to trust every prisoner. You will be surprised to know that we used to celebrate the birthday of other prisoners also. It was not only Charles Sobraj that we celebrated birthday, just like to create the family atmosphere in the jail, family climate in the jail. We used to celebrate the birthday of other prisoners also. And when they are in shock, like suppose if someone is having illness in the family, we will help for better communication with the family. Or if there is some casualty in the family, we will be like a family with him. So basically he committed the breach of trust by escaping the... We are having trust in every prisoner, but it seldom happen that someone is breaching the... This is more like a cheating than escape.
You write in your book that he would often come to your office and you would object to it and will tell him to go away. There is also a talk about how he controlled media, how he manipulated media, like how journalists would come meet him and the next day we would read stories about his narrative of the story. What was that like?
what he was doing, even when I was not in the prison service, before that, I knew the name of Charles Sobraj. That is somebody, some criminal who is Charles Sobraj. It was because he used to hire freelance journalist, one or two. He will give them 50 rupees. At that time, he was giving 50 rupees.
And you're talking about only Indian journalist or Western journalist also?
Indian journalist. I knew one or two these journalists. He used to give 50 rupees at that time because we were the deputy superintendent used to be custodian of the prisoner money. Prisoner were not allowed to take money inside the prison. So whenever some journalist will come to meet him, he will tell me that please give him 50 rupees from my account, from his account. So we used to give money from his account to the journalist. At that time he used to give 50 rupees for per visit, and whatsoever he will tell the journalist. Suppose next day he has to attend the court, the journalist will be there in the court and he will just note down the proceeding, and in a freelance character he will pass that information to every newspaper. So in some newspaper there will be news, in some there will be no news, but he used to do this before every journey to the court.
He would also boast about, for example, when he got out of Kandahar jail, he told about how he spoke to Masood Azhar and took the undertaking for the security of the passengers on IC 814. What was that about? Because Indian Express, citing sources, said that it was simply exaggerated claims.
He
He had this sort of character to simply boast about.
was a character, he will boast upon everything, but I don't think he was having any link with Masood Azhar.
Because he also said he had conversation with the then foreign minister.
I don't think.
Okay. He also had friends inside the jail, and you write in your book Batra, Jaggi, Kapoor and Shukla. One time you got Shukla beaten up. What was that incident?
Basically, the name which you have just taken, they all were B class prisoners. At that time, B class and C class, as I have told you. This Sunil Batra, Vipin Jaggi and this Ravi Kapoor, they have robbed the bank van, Central Bank of India. I think it was the first robbery of dacoity, the dacoity cum murder of this bank van. So far as this Prem Shankar Shukla is concerned, he was a big cheat. So what happened? Everything this started that once he was in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has also called me there. They have asked some question to the Superintendent Jail, and with his reply, I was also in the Supreme Court. So what I saw there, that the escort party were not sitting with him. Basically, they should sit with the prisoner as per the rules. So I told the escort, because escort was of Delhi, from Delhi police, I told them that why you are not sitting with this fellow? Why he is sitting in the advocate enclosure and you are sitting far behind him? So they were not knowing me. They asked him that who is he? So before me, he was just told them that he don't know. I say okay.
Now I'll show you.
Now I will give you my introduction in the jail. So when in the jail, when I came, I was, you can say, my ego was hurt that he don't know the jailer. Then what, even the prison staff and other prisoners, they were also afraid of Mr. Shukla, because he was a very notorious, frivolous petition maker. He will file the petition for even a small thing. He will file the petition before the court. He will not file the petition before the superintendent jail or other. He will file the petition before the court to browbeat them. So it was in tendency to browbeat the prison administration. So when and our other prison staff, they were afraid of him. But you see, I was not afraid of him because I know that I am not doing anything which may harm me.
So this the thing whenever he used to file petition or file a complaint for these,
Most of the time frivolous. If you are filing,
but he was simply exploiting the system which was
yeah, he was simply exploiting the system because at that time he knew every jail officer. He knew that they are taking the money, so they were afraid of him. But when I was not at his payroll, so why I should be afraid of? So I told my some prisoners that teach him mild lesson. So they taught him that lesson, and thereafter, good thing happened. I was totally planned. I conducted everything in planned way. I when I got the news that there was fight between the prisoners, I called the police. When police was called, he understood that some game is going on. He analyzed the situation, and when police people came, they called him. He told them, "No, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened." They took his statement and they went away. Thereafter, he filed the petition in I think it was in some court, where he alleged that he was got beaten by Sunil Gupta. Then I showed them that this is his statement given before the police, and he was saying that nothing has happened. So his petition was dismissed. So it was for the first time. It was for the first time he was beaten in his own field.
And was that the first time that you got someone beaten?
Yeah, I think probably it was. Perhaps it was for the first time.
And talk to us a little bit about that incident when you got suspended for 1.5 months when Home Minister visited.
Basically, what happened that there were every day there were reports in the newspaper which suggest that on behalf of Charles Sobraj, so many mishappening are doing in the jail. So. In those days, I think it was the month of September. Some parliament session was going on, and in that session, our honorable the then Home Minister, he told the parliament that he will visit the jail and will give the fact check to the parliament. So I was aware that he may come any day, even though I was infant when I joined this. I was, you can say, juvenile when I joined the prisons in the prison services.
And which year we are talking here?
This was 81. In 81, you can say, yeah, same year. In 81 May I joined, and it was probably month of September. So I was duty officer there. I was only officer available there. So this gatekeeper, he came to me on that some sick fellow has come. He's saying that he is the Home Minister. I say, yeah. I was having apprehension that anyone may come. So I ran away toward the gates and received the Home Minister. I took him, I escorted him to inside the jail. Then the Home Minister told me that he want to meet the Charles Sobraj. Where is the Charles Sobraj cell? I took him to the cell of Charles Sobraj. There I was translating whatever he was saying.
But he showed some tantrum also before meeting the Home Minister, Charles Sobraj.
No, basically he was in his cell. It was, it must be the time at around 7 in the evening. Okay. It should be 6:30 to 7 in the evening. So he was in his cell. So when our people came to know that he has actually this Home Ministry has come, then he was locked up in the cell. So I escorted him to the cell of Charles Sobra. There he asked the Charles that how is the life here. He said, no, we are very relaxed. Then there were so many books lying in his cell. He told that all the book you read, yeah, I am very fond of reading. And these books usually he read and he sleep after reading. It is his habit. So I was the translator between him and conversation between him and Charles Obraj. So thereafter, when we were trying to leave that ward, that was 14 number ward, ward number was 14, where B class people were kept at that time. So when he was coming out, suddenly two miscreants appeared. They were Bhaji and Dina. They started shouting Chacha Nehru Jindabad and this is Chacha Nehru jail. Here everything is available. So I was very happy when they were saying Chacha Nehru Jindabad. Even Gyaniji was happy that Chacha Nehru,
Very patriotic
yeah,
people.
very patriotic people. But on that day, before in front of my eye, nothing happened. We were there, and then he also visited another ward. That ward also we visited, and thereafter he left after I think 45 or 1 hours. He left the jail. Next day, even on that day, when my SP asked that what has happened, I was happy. I said that the visit has taken in very peaceful atmosphere, and people were saying Chacha Nehru Jindabad, and visibly the Home Minister was very happy. So they were also satisfied that even though this is a new guy, but he has taken everything. So after that, next day I came to know through this Indian Express that there was, because Indian Express was after Tihar administration. Daily there used to be some news about Tihar at that time.
It was called Tihar Express.
It was called Tihar Express.
Yeah.
So next day when I read the newspaper, it was the news was there that when Gyaniji was visiting the jail, he was shown the bottles of liquor, empty bottles of liquor, and he was told that here every narcotics is available. On the very next day, the prison administration took action against me. I, along with another assistant superintendent, he was very senior assistant superintendent, he, myself, and 3 this warden staff, they were suspended. So when we were suspended, again there was big news in the newspaper that our name was there that this has happened. At that time, when this news came, then Charles Obraj, he came to me. He expressed his shock that what has happened, and he also told me that if I required anything from him,
Monetary wise or?
Yeah, monetary, what other he can give?
Yeah.
Only monetary wise he can. So
And you got angry at that point.
and I thank him that at least you are thinking about me. So thereafter I left the jail. Thereafter this around 45 days I remained suspended. And then in between I was called by our DIG prison at that time. He called me. I went to him and I explained to him everything. Then he took me on duty.
So how was your tuning with your superiors? Like superintendent, wardens also?
It has always been the best of, you can say. But when I was not having any, you can say, wrong thing to be done by my subordinate staff, they were not either happy with me, even though I was very well behaved with them. But since I was not allowing any misdeed by them, so they were not very happy with me. So my relation with my co-staff member, that was also very nice, because it was my principle that I was going on my way and they were having their own ways.
You also talk with high regards about Kiran Bedi ji.
Yeah, Kiran Bedi, she joined the prison service in 1993. She was posted as IG prison in 1993. And basically you can see, she opened out the system, the prison system, which was hitherto closed. He opened out it for the press, for the public, she started this community participation in the prison reforms. Uh, People having yoga, meditation qualification, they were coming to the jail. People who were teacher outside, they started coming to the prison to teach the prisoners. So at that time, these are simply, basically these are the reforms. And she started this as a movement inside the prison. Earlier they used to be like, if I believe in reform, what is reform? Reform is that if you are going on the right direction, if you are giving the prisoners their rights, as per the jail manual, that is the biggest reform. If you are respecting their rights, that is the biggest reform. Plus, if you are doing other thing also, then you become that this reform become a movement. And if public is participating in that, and you are giving this press coverage, etc., everything, then she allowed the press at every you can say, at every moment, whenever we were having big this meditation course, yoga course, or other courses, she used to invite the press, and they will cover the program. They will interview the prisoner, and they will tell the public that what is in reality happening inside the prison.
One of the things that you write in the book is about how the what is that, Nambardar, I think. Nambardars are the people who are convicted but have shown good behavior in jail, and now they have been given some sort of responsibilities to ensure peace and tranquility inside the jail. How is it possible that these Nambardars are also able to cancel the warrants? They are cancelling the legal warrants.
Basically, these Nambardar, this was the system at that time prevalent in the Punjab jails. So, the Nambardar are the public servant. They are chosen from the convicted person. They are the public servant. They were holding the status of public servant because if they do any misdeed, then only punishment which you can give them was just to withhold their public servant status. They were not eligible for any this punishment which you are giving to other prisoners, general punishment. Only the punishment you can give was to forfeit their Nambardari. So I observed at that time that these Nambardar were working as a conduit between the prison staff and the moneyed people. They were extorting the money. They were beating the prisoner to extort the money or to extort other things. So when this was happening, then I got a chance in 1988 to frame the prison manual. So in that prison manual, prison manual of 1988, this public servant status of the Nambardar, that was abolished. So that was a very good thing. And because of this abolition, some prisoners were against me. Staff members were, naturally they were against me, that because they were the conduit between in these illegal activities. So in 98 manual, this system was abolished.
Another question which I want to ask you is how poor people do not have access to legal aid. Now I know that when you were in jail, you tried to help them out. You tried to set up a legal facility for them. But do you think the current state of Tihar jail is up to the mark and people are getting access to legal aid?
You just see, if you will go through this NCRB statistics, National Crime Record Bureau's statistics, you will see that 80% of the prison population, they come from the poor background of the society. Poor background means that their yearly income is less than 1 lakh, means 8,000 per month. So such people, they are dependent upon the legal aid services of the states. And this was the position when I joined. And even now, you see, after I am retired, I am practicing, even now the situation is same. the percentage of such people is 85% or more than 85%, you can say. So for them, I think it was very prudent and time-tested idea at that time when I started this legal aid. 1983, you see. In 1983, I started this legal aid schemes, and after this 1983, at that time, this was very novice concept that you are having legal aid scheme for the prisoners inside the. So now you see, in today context, if you see that now every jail in Delhi, if you are having 17 jail or 16 jail, every jail is having legal aid cell. Plus, you are having, if you want to file the petition before the High Court, you are having High Court Legal Service Committee, Supreme Court Legal Aid Cell, District Legal Aid Services. But now these are so much expanded. But I take pride that at that time, 1983, I took this decision that initiative that to have legal aid cell in the jail. So this legal aid cell, this is the very necessary component of the prison management, because if someone has to file the appeal against the conviction, or if someone want to file appeal against the bail rejection, then these legal aid services are very handy to him. But I want to give you new perspective to this. Most of the prisoners, even though we are having legal aid cell in the jails, most of the prisoners, they prefer to have the help of these fellow prisoners in drafting their petition.
This is a big dilemma.
Big dilemma. If you will see that if suppose we dispatch around 50 petitions to different court from the one jail, you will see that 35 or 40 petitions are drafted by the prisoner and rest 10 are by the legal.
But they are very efficient as well.
These prisoners drafting petitions are very efficient and time tested, because they know that what is the mentality of the judge who will hear this petition. So by each calculation, they draft the petition, and most of the time these petitions are very successful.
So I want to talk about a very interesting point that you made in the book about the chakkar, where most of the fighting happens between the prisoners. But why are there no CCTV cameras there when we know that this is where the prisoners fight?
No, nowadays they are having CCTV cameras, but never the CCTV camera will cover each nook and corner of the room. So there are some places which are not covered by the CCTV camera, and those places can be misused. At that time, when I joined, there was no concept of CCTV camera. At that time, third degrees were through this chakkar. Basically, chakkar is the place where you are controlling the inner law and order of the jail, of that particular jail. So that is very important point of prison and management, prison administration. And our law also say that the during evening hours and during the morning hours when the jail is locked out, that is called, then locked out means during the evening hours we at around 7 or 8 we locked up the prisoners for the night, so that they
Sab acha hai.
Sab acha. So both time in the morning it is called sab acha, in the evening it is called sab acha. And both these important activities happen at the chakkar. So chakkar is very important point for the prison discipline point of view.
So I want to come to a very sensitive case, the Nirbhaya case, and the topic of custodial death inside Tihar. We all read about it and we all are on the same page as far as the reading and the books are concerned, that Ram Singh took his own life inside jail. But you have a different perspective of it. What is your perspective, and how do you come to this conclusion now?
Basically, you see that when I met the Ram Singh, when he was admitted to the jail, I talked to him, and he was a habitual drunkard. So I told him that why you committed this heinous offense. He told me that he was drunk at that time when this boy and girl came into his bus. She was drunk and they were indulging in some objectionable activity. So he got just flare up and this crime was committed. So when I was hearing him, he was not able to stand properly. Plus, he told me that he's having a rod in his right hand, and whenever he used to drive the bus, he will drive the bus with one hand, left hand. So first, I told at that time my director general that because our prison population, they dislike people who are in the jail in rape cases. Plus, at that time there was much heated environment. So I told my DG that we should keep them because this is our duty to give proper protection to every prisoner. So we should keep them in the high security wards. But my DG was unconcerned about that. So I was only advisor. I can't take the decision at that time. So what happened when he committed so-called suicide? One hooter was going on, and I ran toward the cell where he was kept. 3 other prisoners were also there, and he was found hanging with the grills which were about 10 feet above. So when I told the other prisoner, when I scolded the other prisoner that how he took his life,
How he could manage to that
how he could manage to climb. There was one you can say
Stones.
bucket on which it was stated to me that he used this bucket to climb that, but that was insufficient. So he was just, I think he was 5'6", 5'7", his Ram Singh height was there, and that bucket should be not more than 2 feet height. So when I told them that why this has happened, they said हम तो सो रहे थे. I told them that कोई भी इतनी नींद में ऐसे नहीं सोता कि उसको पता लगे कि what other prisoner is doing. But they said no sir, हम तो सो रहे थे. So I was apprehensive that this is not the suicide, but this is murder, because he was not able to climb that, and his one hand was dysfunctional you can say. So I was surprised when whenever there is death in the jail, that is judicially inquired into by the sub-divisional magistrate or judicial magistrate. So this his death was also inquired into by the sub-divisional magistrate, and I was surprised to see the report of the SDM that in his viscera alcohol was found. Alcohol was found. Nobody will give alcohol to such type of prisoner in the jail. So my conclusion was very fair that.
So do you think that whatever happened, as per your perception, happened because of the public pressure or the scrutiny?
It was because of public pressure. It was because of public pressure. And you see, whenever you are giving death sentence, that is given in rare cases. There are guidelines set by the Supreme Court that in such circumstances you can give the death sentence. I don't think those guidelines
Match the
match
criteria.
the yeah, and when these 4 people were hanged. But that is the legal thing. I
That
will
is
not.
a
Yeah. So my this conclusion that he was killed, that was proven when I saw that in the report it was he was having alcohol in his viscera.
Sir, another thing that you have been very vocal about in the book is setting up a training institute, which also, by the way, is a mandate under the Delhi Prisons Act of 2000.
Yes, yes, yes.
Where is the lapse taking place? Why is it not happening till
This
now?
this is very good question. Very good question. Basically, you see, when this Delhi Prison Act 2000 was being framed, I was representing the Delhi prisons in that. There were 4 members, and I was the 5th. You can see, I was the prison staff for this representative there. I told them that this training, because I was not given training when I joined this, I emphasized that this training should be given to the prison staff. And they all agreed with me, and there was a provision in this provision was inserted that induction training as well as refresher training should be given to each staff member. This was mandate given in the Prison Act. But despite that, no training institute has been established. There may be so many other things, but no training institute has been established. And I am telling you the reason why this has not been established. The reason behind this is that a lot of deputationists are occupying the post which take the important decision on the prison management. These deputationists, they don't want that training should be given to the prison staff, otherwise their authority will be undermined. When the prison staff will come to know that what are their powers, what are supreme power, what are other power, they will definitely be more bold. So they don't want the deputationists who you see who are controlling the jail in every sphere of administration. They don't want that this training institute should be established to make aware the staff member
What are their powers?
what are their powers.
And do you think this is also a major factor?
And because their powers and because they are not trained, they don't want to see the jail manual. Because they say, अरे jail manual दे तो बहुत very inferior thing they consider to the jail manual. So they are not in favor that this training institute should be established, and that is the reason that now 25 years have passed after this prison act. Till date, they are not. We are not having this training institute.
And deputation is also an issue why Tamil Nadu special forces were brought in. To
Yeah.
guard the high security.
Yeah,
forces.
they were brought in because the government think that they are more efficient than the prison staff, and just to create communication gap between the prisoners and the staff, they were brought in, and they outnumber the prison staff. At that time, when I left the prison administration, they were around 1200 in number, these TSP staff, and prison staff were also, I think, in same number. And most of the time they outnumber because there are a lot of vacancy.
Vacancy is also a major issue.
Yeah,
There
that is
are
also
always vacancies in the
always vacancy in the prison cadre. So because of that, they are also in dominant position.
And is there also something like that a Haryanvi person in the administration will support the Haryanvi prisoner? Or the
No.
casteism that plays
The
in?
casteism, regionalism, this happened everywhere, and
That
I think
happened with you as well. when
that
you
happened with me also. Yeah, I am also the sufferer. Yeah.
Right. You also talk about the drug abuse inside the jail. How is it possible that people are able to smuggle drugs inside the jail? We know that there is a trail wherein you give money to the guard and that guard brings money from outside as well.
That is in collusion. That is in collusion that you are giving money to the guard, or with, if you are not giving money, you are ensuring that you will give money to him so that he may bring this drugs, etc., to the jail. Basically, most of the time, every time they are having new idea to smuggle the article inside the prison. At that time, in 1981, at that time, smack, etc., were not in that horizon. At that time, they used to take Mendex tablets. These are Mendex tablets are just like Alprex nowadays, and they used to take Mendex. They will sedate themselves and then fight with each other like that. So at that time, these Mendex, these were being supplied from the prison dispensary, and even now they take Alprex from they are prescribed Alprex by the prison doctor. So the mode or modus operandi.
Just trying to understand that the doctor prescribes the medicine basis the disease, or
No, if you will go to the doctor and will say that you are not having sleep during the night because of so many reasons.
there has to be some sort of proportion on the amount of tablets that
At time mostly they give one Alprex tablet,
But then they smuggle.
they may get smuggled more, and they will say that give us this 7-day dose or wo, and they will take all the tablets at one time. So this modus operandi of smuggling these drugs was they use their private parts. They use their private parts to smuggle mobile phone and these drugs, etc. What they will do, they will just put the drugs in one this polythene, and they will just ingest that into their stomach. Then when they will come in the jail, because that will not be detected, when they will come back to the jail, they will just vomit. That will come out, and then they will, you can see, enjoy. Plus nowadays they are having bowls from outside. They will throw the bowls inside the prison, and in these bowls, the drugs and
but
mobiles.
now I think there is some sort of netting inside.
They have done, they have done netting, but that is insufficient. Because that netting is also dangerous. That by using the end, they can climb the wall. They can jump out.
Improvise they can.
So most of the time it happened because of collusion with the staff, and if you see gangster is there, because of caste consideration, regional consideration, so many considerations, they will acquire these prohibited article in their cells.
Okay, sir, tell us honestly. You have already written about this in the book, but you also received threat from someone.
Yeah, I also received the threat. These murder will come to me. They will indirectly say that, sir, we have not murdered the cat or dog outside. So they try to threat me. Even I got threats from Chota Shakil from Dubai, where he threatened me that मैं आपको देख लूँगा, कब तक छोटा राजन को जो है बचा के रखोगे, तो like that. Then
But you never scared of all these threats because you had family.
Yeah, I had family, and my family, my bungalow was located just near the jail wall.
Yes.
So if somebody jump the jail wall, he will come to my bungalow.
Right.
So I was this threatened, but I was having no other option. But I am a firm believer in God. This whatsoever God will do, that will pour my benevolence. So I am firm believer in this God justice. So even though I was threatened, but I was not I never hesitated in doing good thing.
Okay, just in brief, if you can tell us the anecdote, how the seats of Janata Party were sown inside the Tihar jail.
Basically, you see that our this Tihar at that time when Janata Party was formed in 1977, or you can say 1976. At that time, the capacity of the jail was to keep 1,273 prisoners. Exactly, this was the capacity.
That is both men and women.
Men and women.
Okay.
But at that time, when this Janata Party was formed, when this emergency was imposed, then around 8 to 10,000 prisoners were lodged in the jail from all political party, from all you can see. Even at that time, you see, in 1976, this tunnel escape case happened because their attention was only on the security of these politician and these 13 life convict people. They took advantage of this overcrowding and they skipped the custody by digging the tunnel.
Shawshank
By digging the tunnel, by digging the tunnel, and that I think tunnel was 100 feet, around 100 feet in length, and 13, you can say 13 life convict. They skipped the custody. So when these political people were kept, they all were kept. They were not kept that in this compartment the Jansanghi will stay, or here Congress old people will here communist. They all were scattered all over. So during that, they were having a lot of time to talk to each other. Then I think they understood each other philosophy, and then this Janata Party was formed. I think in this Janata Party, this Nanaji Deshmukh, Vijay Raje Scindia, they took leading part in diluting their party philosophy, and
that all happened under the garb of yoga.
under the garb of yoga. Yeah, you were very correct. Nanaji Deshmukh, he was very fond of yoga, and he will teach the yoga to everyone there.
Right. The JNU students' jailbreak is very famous, and how it happened. If you can tell us briefly, and also tell us if that is possible now. I don't think that's possible because there were some changes made
Yeah.
in the protocols.
Basically, in those days, I'm talking about 1983, 82. As I have told you that there used to be two classes, B class and C class. B class people used to have one-to-one interview like we are sitting. Whereas C class interview, there were iron grill between the visitor and the inmate. So when JNU agitation people came, basically, we are very lax when any agitationist is sent to the prison. We are very lax in administering the jail manual to them because they are not criminal. So we were also relaxed with them. So what they did at that time, they were having face-to-face interview. What our people did whenever someone was taken inside the jail, we used to put one this seal on the wrist of the visitor. So that shows that he is a visitor. If he is having that seal on his wrist, we presume that he is a visitor. But side by side, this prison staff, they should be vigilant. There should be due vigilance there. But where that has gone, I can't comment now. So when visitors leave the jail, what our staff will do, they will just see that seal. They say, "Jao, jao."
That you are the visitor.
So what they did, that the visitor seal was embossed upon the seal of the inmates, and they all for convicts, they are required to wear the uniform. But for undertails, they can just like be you and me, civil dress. So everyone was having this seal, these inmates. So they all cheated the system and escaped. So what happened that our law say, our jailmen will say that we will hot chase when some escape happened. We will hot chase the escapee. So we went we with their custody warrant. We went to their hostel. Some women, they were having Vajanti Mala, Hema Malini, Sadhana, like that name, because police was having no mode of this verifying that whether he is identifying them. So when we went to the men part there in JNU, they were having Devanand, Dharmender, like the Amitabh Bachchan, like that. So we were unable to identify them. We came back empty-handed. So they just cheated the system. You know, whenever escape, there are no daredevil escape like it happened in Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand or in Punjab, where 40-50 people armed with rifles, they will attack the jail and rescue the prisoner. But most of the time in Delhi jails, because we are having sufficient force to repel that attack, most of the time in Delhi jails, they are cheating the system. Like you may say this Charles Sobraj case, Sher Singh Rana case, where this fake policeman came there, or like any other, most of the time.
And like the killer of Phul and Devi.
Like Sher Singh Rana case. Yeah, I told them the fake policeman case they came. So they are cheating the system.
But that Phul and Devi's killer case, it reminds me of how the jail staff is also very scared of the courts, because that fear somehow led you to misinterpret that this.
Yeah. Basically, you know,
Talk to us a little bit about that fear.
It is. You see that if we talk about Delhi jails, here around 82% of the prison population, they are under trials. Under trials means we are the judicial custodian of that person. Judicial custodian means in every practical aspect, he is in the judicial custody. He is in the control of judiciary. Whereas in case of convicts, we are the controller. He is in the state custody. He is the state property. So you see, hundreds of prisoners are daily produced before the court. And if you fail to produce anyone, you will get show cause notice from the court, and you can be badly hard up by the courts. So we are always having pressure to produce the prisoner, and some of the prisoners have to attend the outside Delhi courts of nearby states like UP, Haryana, Punjab, where the prisoner, if they leave early in the morning, they can come back in the late evening hour back to the jail. So in such cases, we used to produce the prisoner. So in this case, he was having the cases in UP. So the practice was that the policeman from that state will come and he will take the custody of the prisoner. What happened in that case, in Sher Singh Rana case, that fake policeman came from outside. He told that he has come to take the custody of Sher Singh Rana. We, unsuspecting that he is a fake policeman, we handed over the custody to him. Basically, he was well prepared. He earlier met the Sher Singh Rana in the capacity of his lawyer. So he was well aware the nitty-gritty of the prison administration, and he exploited that.
In general, there is a fear of court that.
Yeah, in general, there is a fear of court that if you will not produce the prisoner before the court, they could be hard up for contempt of court or disobeying the order of the court.
One of the debate point that you have sparked is also why the jailer is not considered, not even in the police force. and also not in the bureaucracy and is not paid as per both
Yeah,
the
yeah,
categories.
yeah, yeah.
Then how do we reform that?
Yeah, yeah. That is the, that is the biggest, you can say, tragedy with the prison people. The prison people will say that we are equivalent to police. Make us the pay and perks equivalent to police. But police will say no, no, no. They are not. They are not. They are civilian. They are civilian, and they should not be paid and perks as per police. If we will say that okay, we are civilian, then civilian people will say no, 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 no. They are not civilian. They are uniform men. They are police. So the result is, end result is that we are neither here nor there. We are not getting good pay scale. Most of the prison, this you can say prison cadre people, they are not getting the good pay scale. Only superintendents and above who are on deputation, they are getting their pay scale. They are getting higher pay scale here. But the so far as prison cadre is concerned, they are getting lesser pay scales. Their service conditions are miserable. They are being ruled by the outsider deputationist. You know, under the Nelson Mandela rules, where the India is the signatory, there could not be any secondment of the prison service. But in Delhi, we are these overpowered by the deputationist.
It's in a subverted position.
Yeah, in a subverted position, as a result of which you see, because they are not trained, there is no, I think the very meager, you can say, this discipline, and they are not treated well.
In your book, you also talk about marriages between jailers and convicts. Do they really work out? Because you talk in elaborate manner about how one intern who came into the jail fell in love with a convict, Gurdeep Bagga,
Yes.
who was actually a murderer, alleged
Yeah.
murderer, and
Yeah.
later he was acquitted, I think,
Yeah.
of the case. So, tell us, do they really work out? How is the chemistry? Because you have been a jailer. I understand that you got married and everything happened outside of the jail, but you have a first-hand account of what happened inside also.
So basically, you see, here the prisoners are very aggressive. They used to this browbeat the prison administration. They are very aggressive. In Delhi, they are aware about these prisoners. They are aware about their rights, but they are not aware about their duties. But they are aware about their rights, and they know that they can file for any petty thing. They can file the petition before the court, and they will get the relief. So they are living in the aggressive way, and it was because of that Gurdeep Bagga got married with that intern. Basically, I was controlling that thing. I was the nodal officer for that. So when that intern applied for meeting the prisoner, I recommended her because basically, you know, these prisons are the laboratory of the criminal justice administration, and the Supreme Court has also stated in several judgments that we should encourage this type of visits, research. We should
That is
encourage.
the time also when you were looking at reforms.
Yeah, that was the time when I was looking for the more reforms in the prison system. So when she wanted to read the psychology of the prisoner, on that she wanted to present a paper in her university. So we allowed that, but later on we came to know that she was having affair with that prisoner. Gurdeep Bagga, he was my typist in the legal branch. So that happened. Ultimately, they married, and now they are having their two siblings. Both are settled abroad, and this Gurdeep Bagga, he is doing very flourishing this liquor business, and very flourished businessman. He used to come to me, but you see what happened that our women prison staff, I think that they are having a sort of this low self-esteem, or you can say inferiority complex. So I have seen that one our prison head matron, she married to the rapist. that rapist, he was on duty, on gate duty of my office. So she married with him. I have seen that doctor, lady doctor, she marrying the murder accused. I have seen one counselor. She married with one convict who was released after having 10 years of imprisonment. So like that, I have seen so many. Even I observed that most of the female staff, they are not having good match. They are not having good match even outside. That is my observation. I have no right
That
to.
happened in your case as well.
So
I'm not sure how much it was projected in the movie, how much of it was true, but it happened in your case as well.
yeah, in my case also, basically, when my brother was going to bury, my mother told me that don't tell that you are working in the prison department. So that was her viewpoint, and but that is the case that in women case they are more sufferer. Women staff, they are more sufferer because they are totally outmatched by their partner. And in the male case also, they in this urban area, they are finding it difficult to get the good match.
It is also your philosophy to not go to any invitation, be it marriage or any other invitation, to the former convicts or the former prisoners.
Yeah,
Why is it that? Has it changed so far?
No, basically,
Now you're
now I am retired, but I don't used to visit the marriage of staff member because whenever I will go there, I will see number of number of the prisoners, ex-prisoners, who were influential while they were inside the prison, and they are attending the marriage. They taking food along with the prison staff, taking liquor along with the prison staff. So that I don't like. I need a semblance of discipline wherever I go. So that was not too much my liking. So I used to avoid these marriages.
Now I want to talk about Billa and Ranga case. We know that this is one single case which changed Delhi forever. It was
Yeah.
not known as the rape capital of India
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah.
but this case changed it. But in this also, Ranga at the time he was about to be hanged. Everything was fine. When the doctor checked the pulse, he still had it. It was illegal. It was illegal how the hangman went in the well and pulled the leg to ensure that he was dead.
No,
It was inhuman or it was against the
you may say it was inhuman, but our this black warrant say that you hang so and so person till his death.
And there is no guidelines as to you cannot go and
No,
pull
no,
the
there
legs.
are no guidelines. No guidelines that you will pull the leg. But there were no other option because this he was a man of very thin stature. This Ranga. So if somebody is holding his breath, so that may take a long. That either you keep him hanging for 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. Ultimately, he will die.
He will die.
But our law says that within 2 hours, after 2 hours, doctor will declare him death.
Do you want any change in that? That it has to be done as per the procedure.
No, basically it hold good for other prisoners, but if someone is of very thin stature, then there may be problem. But this that was the exception.
But I know for a matter of fact that you are against death.
Yeah, I am against. Yeah, I am against
Why
the
is
death
that?
penalty. That is because mostly this is awarded to the poor prisoner who are unable to have good lawyer.
I want to
And
know.
plus, you see, our system is such that even for these theft cases, it is going year after year. I read somewhere that it take 25 years in completing one this robbery case. So first you improve our system. Only you should not have this death penalty. But you should improve your system. You should have time-bound disposal of the cases, so
There are
that
currently more than 4 crore cases pending.
5 crore cases.
Yeah.
Currently 5 crore cases which are pending before various courts. And when I joined the prison services, at that time the number was 1 crore. Now with the increase of judges, the case is also number of cases is
That's
also
ironic.
increasing. Yeah.
But after this execution, I think in 2014, Supreme Court judgment said that postmortem is important after the hanging to
Yeah, yeah.
ensure that there was
Yeah, yeah.
nothing.
This is the improvement. This is good improvement. Basically, I have heard about the cases that when somebody was hanged, his head was above and his body fell down. So to ensure that hanging is done as per the rules, these are very good direction by the Supreme Court in Shatrughan Chauhan case, where now the post-mortem will be done of the body to see that this execution was carried out as per the provisions of the jail
But
manual.
still, we are suspicious if everything will be in limelight and nothing will be covered up. By the way, I also want to talk about the recreational activities. You pointed that one case where a Norwegian person,
Yeah, yeah.
Leo,
Yeah, that is
talk to
the
us about that recreational activities.
yeah.
Which
Basically, you see that full-fledged this meditational activity was introduced in the jail after arrival of Madam Bedi. Before that, everybody was doing some type of this activity, but that was not at that
she
time.
implemented.
Yeah, she implemented and she put it in the rule book. Earlier, it was not in the rule book. Only function of the jailer was to have the safe and secure custody of the prisoner. She put it in the rule book. So what happened that Leo Gaznier, if you want, I can give you letter written by him that in what way he was transformed by the meditation courses in the jail. So the Leo Gaznier, he was sent to the prison while he was smuggling out 2 kg of heroin. So when he entered the prison, he was very abusive. He used to spit on the other prisoners. So as a trick, we put him in the, we counsel him that he want to do this meditation course. With reluctance, he says, okay, I will attend. He attended one course. He did one course. And then he requested that he will also like to do another, he want to repeat this course. Then he repeated that course of Vipassana. After that course, he was having very this you can say his aggression was meltdown. Then he gave us one application that he addressed to the court that he want to confess his crime. He went before the court because usually such confession is not allowed after 1 year of this trial. But in his case, it was allowed by the court, and he confessed before the court that he was caught with 2 kg of smack. But judge said, no, here it is 1 kg. He said, I don't know where one other 1 kg has gone, but I was caught with 2 kg of smack. Because in Norway it is very costlier. Here it is very.
the judge did not pull up the.
Yeah, that might have happened, but so far as it was concerned to that prisoner, he told that prisoner that you could be you could be given 10 year of minimum sentence as well as 1 lakh of this fine. That is the minimum. He said, okay, I'm ready. So he was allowed this. He was granted this sentence by the court. And when he was interviewed because at that time, whenever somebody was having this meditation course, they were allowed to have interview with the press. So in his interview, he told the journalist that even though he may be physically incarcerated, but he is mentally liberated. So that was the story of his reform. Thereafter, he was granted premature release by the President of India, and he was sent to his state. I think that was the first and last case in which NDPS Act gets this convict. His sentence was given this. He was given prematurely remitted.
So now I want to talk about Makbul Bhatt. Everything happened so quickly. Do you think that justice was served in that case?
No, basically, I think there was some government planning to use the Makbul Bhatt, but that could not happen because of that Indian diplomat was killed in UK. So he was hanged in hurried this.
There was no trial for
No,
that particular
earlier,
case.
no. He was the trial happened and he was given after conclusion of trial. He was given death sentence, and I think his this mercy petition was pending with the president of India, and that too was I think rejected. That too was rejected, but he was just kept like that. So after our diplomat was when he was kidnapped and killed, then they take this hurried decision that he should be given this death sentence. Then at that time, our IG prison, he went to visited the Jammu jail, Jammu court. From there, he brought this black warrant, and then he was hanged.
But was there any substantive evidence to link?
No, that I don't know because that should be reflected in the proceeding of the court.
Now, the most important highlight which I found was that of the book was the Afzal Guru section, where you write with deep emotional value that how you felt so bad about his last words and how his last wish, which I want to hear from you. So, talk to us about, as a jailer, if I try to put myself in your shoe, which I don't think I'll do justice with it, but still I feel that everybody needs to understand your perspective, and I think you should be less criticized if by anyone, because you live in the jail 24/7 with these people, though there are lock in and lock out times, but you go home just to take sleep because you said in your book that the lockout time was around 11 p.m. at that time.
At that time, it
At
was
that
11.
time.
Yeah.
What was your bond with Afzal Guru A, and what was his last wish that he asked from you?
Basically, for Afzal Guru, the man of the show is Superintendent Jail. As he has to perform every activity concerning this hanging. But I was deputed by the prison headquarters, being law officer, to be present there. So in Afzal Guru case, he was not having any last wish. Basically, last wish mean that if you are having any movable or immovable property, you can tell this, explain this before the magistrate, who will record your will, so that after his demise, the property could be appropriated in that fashion. So that is last wish. There is nothing like that. If he will say that I want to eat biryani or I want, nothing like that.
But
That
tea
is-
is under the protocol.
That is
you
mis
asked.
that tea is under protocol because every prisoner is given tea in the morning, and in that case also he was served tea. Thereafter he asked for one more cup, but by that time that tea man has gone. Plus this hanging is time bound process. You have to complete everything in the time bound manner. So thereafter he told us that he is not a terrorist. He is just a corruption fighter outside, and he was associated with so many NGOs. Like that he told us. We were having no other option but to hear him. So then I told him that if he want to say anything to his countrymen or his Kashmiri people, then he wrote a letter to his wife that now he is going. Please keep peace outside and take care of my son. Ghalib was his son. I remember. And he also told me that had he been terrorist, had he been having terrorist mentality, he would not have brought up his son in the medical field. No terrorist like that his son do medical in this higher education. So he tried to convince us that he's not a terrorist. He's only a fighter for corruption-free India, and he's as much patriotic as we are. Then suddenly he told us that he wanted to sing a song. That then he started singing that song of Badal movies. अपने लिए जिए तो क्या जिए खुशी ये दिल जमाने के लिए means that if you are having this life you live for others. That is the true meaning of the life. So he was also singing and we were also with him. Jointly we were singing that song.
Just to interrupt you, that letter, it never reached his family.
No, it later reached when he was, the day he was hanged, the letter reached there. But his family members were not able to meet him because
It reached late.
it reached late. So he also told me that he's seeing a lot of this passion in my eyes. So he want to see my eyes when he will be hanged. So I was having no objection if he was seeing this passion in my eyes. So he was saying that if he will see my passionate eyes, he will be feeling less this
Fear.
fear.
Okay.
So thereafter, when he was taken to this news, he was just looking at my face, and thereafter his face was covered, and he was hanged. And the same process, after 2 hours, doctor declared him dead, and his body was buried there in the jail.
Nearby Makbul.
Nearby Makbul, but yeah, grave. Basically, our law say that rule is that you will hand over the body to the family members, and if it is not security viable, then at the advice of security people, you can cremate or bury in the jail itself.
Right. Now I want to come to the killers of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Now Satwant Singh was not in his proper state of mind when he was hanged. How do you look at it?
No, basically, Satwant and Kher Singh, they were hanged. He was not too much talkative. Kher Singh also, he was not too much talkative. And he used to, Satwant Singh, he actually, basically, when he was admitted to the prison, he was very aggressive. So we used to have fetters to keep proper control over his activities. So at the time of hanging, basically everyone, whenever someone is hanged, they become tense, and the same was the situation with him. But only exception was Afzal Guru, which I told you, explained to you. So he was also tensed, but we were bound to carry out that.
You were bound.
We were bound by the law, yeah.
So I want to talk about your meeting with former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal.
Yeah. Basically, there was one prisoner, Subrata Rai Sahara. He was very influential and moneyed, most rich person. I saw that he was given too much facilities. He was not kept in the jail. He was kept in the court complex. Even though court order was there, he was kept in the court complex. And there he was getting every type of facilities. Like that court complex was our air conditioned. So I saw that at several times I saw that a lady from Sahara Airline, they were visiting him, and so I understood that what is happening. So I told to tell the DG prison, but he was in cahoot with that.
And the name of that person, the DGP at that time?
That was, I think it would not be proper to take his name. So they were touching the feet of our senior prison staff. He was the senior most. you were touching the feet of the Sahara, Subrata and Sahara. So that was not digestible to me. So I went to CM. First I went to the jail minister because he was elected as MLA from my constituency where my house is located. So I went to him. Then he took me to the chief minister, this residence.
So your constituency MLA, you're talking about
Yeah.
Sisodia?
No, this, yes, Satyendra Jain.
Okay.
I first met Satyendra Jain, then he took me to the office of this chief minister. Then Rahul Mehra, he is also my friend. He also spoke to the CM. Then CM called me at his residence. I told him that this is happening in the jail. Then he told me that, can you take video of that? I said, I am not able to take video for that because I am not in such a position that I take video and pass it over to you. Then he told me that in that case, if we suppose we took surprise search of that place, then the superintendent jail will in trouble. You are saying about DG and other officers, they will be untouched. I said, no, you inquired that. You asked the superintendent jail why he is getting everything in the jail. Then he will tell you that it is on the behest of Director General direction. He said, no, this will create problem. So later on, I came to know, then this DG, he told me that तूने यार उस गरीब आदमी को फंसा दिया. And he told me that why you went to the jail minister. I told him that he is from my constituency and I know him very well. So I went to him. Then he told me that तूने उस गरीब आदमी को फंसा दिया. Means there was some transaction between this and that person. And later on, when he was commissioner of police, at that time CM was used to abuse his predecessors, every police officer. But he, I think, arrested 3 or 4 MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party during. He was, every time, he was referred as a gentleman. So, then someone told me that it is because of you that they are having good friendship. So that is in brief, they are very influential people, they can do anything. So because it was not digestible to me, so I think, even though I think it was stupidity for me, but now I think that was not stupidity. I can't pressurize myself to the extreme. So it was good that you should speak against the latent this corruption everywhere.
But what are your plans for future? We know that you are...
Yeah, I am practicing here now. I am practicing in Delhi courts, High Courts, Supreme Courts, and I am doing a lot of other social work.
Are you also looking to work to bettering the administration at Tihar, where you spent 35 years of your life?
No, basically, so far as this, I was also involved in the framing of Delhi Prison Act and Delhi Prison Manual, as well as Model Prison Act of the central government, which is now called Delhi Prison Rules. So I think by that, the things should improve. But I don't think that this deputation culture will allow any reformation in this system. I'm not hopeful.
So I want to talk about a lot of other topics, but hopefully we can do that in another podcast.
Sure. At your disposal. At your disposal.
Thank you so much, sir. I salute your bravery that you, after retirement,
I salute your questions, the question which you have framed.
Thank you, sir. They were less of a confession for me from you, but it was rather spotlighting the issues which are plaguing our Tihar jail.
Thank you very
Asia's
much.
largest.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
আমাদের ভিডিও ভালো লাগলে লাইক এবং শেয়ার করুন। কমেন্ট সেকশনে গিয়ে জানান আপনাদের মতামত। আরও ভিডিও পেতে আমাদের চ্যানেল সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন এবং প্রতি মুহূর্তে খবরের আপডেট পেতে প্রেস করুন বেল আইকন।